So these are going to be probably the top things I would like to see implemented into Grow Garden that I think the community has been asking for and in general needs to be added. Now, obviously we're going to be, you know, if you are coming back from, you know, vacation and missed it, right? They like finally dropped the long-awaited Bizzy Bee update. Now, this obviously did stir up the community when it came to like things they liked or didn't like. Obviously, people have different opinions. And today I'm going to be diving like deeper into this update, like what the new players and what people are in general are loving or disliking, and then in general, what Jandel and the game developers like have promised, you know, fixes on all this stuff and new things I think need to be implemented, fixing all this stuff. We'll also have leaks, all this, you know, beautiful information. Anyways, this is just before I yap too much, let's get right into the video. Do note we will have information as always in regards to a giveaway later in the video. I'm giving away like 10 of these, right? Not 10 tens, so 100, I'm giving away 10. I'm not giving away freaking hundreds of dollars worth of this. I'm just giving away a pack. All right, so let's kick off things with a quick overview of the Bizzy Bee update itself. So this update introduced several new mechanics. So we have the swarm event. So right here, the swarm event every hour the swarm event will obviously start sending bees to pollinate plants on your farm, and the pollinated plants get the obviously crop with the pollinated mutation, and then you can easily spot these. They have like a very blatant yellow. I don't know why I'm losing frame rate. It's probably because I've been in the game for too long. The next is the honey system. So we have, if you walk onto this, it'll trigger. As you see, we have a new honey currency. So this is the main currency around the base of this, which I'll go over in a second why this is important. But you can use the honey or the pollinated plants to put them into the compressor, and it will compress them. It takes 3 minutes. This is one thing, another we're going to cover later, but it'll take, obviously, as you see this bug, it should not be right here. This is hilarious, but it should not be right here. This is a bug. Anyways, though, as you see, we have the pollinator, this thing or compressor. This will take 3 minutes to compress the pollinated plants into honey. And then you collect that for 10 currency, meaning I've done this almost 70 times. And then we have the queen bee. So this is where you're going to spend obviously your money on all these event stuff. You can ask, what are you? I want to trade honey. Where can I get honey? Where can I get honey? It'll say ask, what does it say? It says a short deposit plants gets honey, talk to on it. This is on it, by the way, in case you're wondering. Anyways, though, what I want to trade honey, this is where you'll trade your honey in, so you can buy the things I think that are always in shop. I think the honeycomb decoration is 100% of the time in shop. And then there's the bee crate, which are these rare decorations, the bee egg with the queen bee pet, and then there's the honey sprinkler, which is like the chocolate sprinkler, but for honey, pretty much. We have the new hive fruit, the nectarine seed, and the flower seed pack. Now, with all these in mind, so this is from obviously the queen bee. We also have a new pets and passive. So as you see over here, we have the bees, which are from the egg or the bee egg, and then the new passive. So these give out the pollinated mutation. So this is another thing with the last event with the lunar track. You had to wait for the hourly event to get the lunar points. With this one though, rather than, I just got so excited seeing this thing. That made my heart flutter, but it's just stupid owl. Anyways though, the one thing to note is checking a server. Though with the last one, obviously you had the lunar event where every hour the lunar track would, or event would start, there would be lunar, blood moon. But with this one, it's a new mechanic based around the bees where the main pollination system gets going once you have obviously the swarm event, but additionally the main pets you get from it also apply to mutation, meaning the more you grind the event to get these pets and the better variants of the bees, the better you can progress through it, which I do like that mechanic. I think that's smart. And we also have the cosmetic upgrades. So bee crates, you know, there are the bee crates for the new cosmetics, and there's obviously been a long awaited deletion system. So obviously if you have a stupid amount of items, you could click this button and then just delete if you have too much of something, which is so freaking helpful. And then there's also stuff around the way the rotation system now works and placements. It's a lot more manageable, I would say. So the community critiques, right? What's not working? So currently everything has been going pretty smooth. There are random few bugs, like as you saw earlier with this one, where it's just a visual bug, right? Where this honey thing, so originally this honey thing right here is going to be inside of this tank and it'll like disperse as it, you know, compresses into the jar. But the this is just a visual bug. Once again, as you see, it goes up here rather than being inside this tank, it's up here. This is just a visual bug. But there have been community critiques around other bugs, mainly being the swarm event bug. So many players have reported that the swarm event, once again, wasn't working reliably and plants weren't even getting pollinated. So the swarm event would start, and for some people, the event, right, wouldn't even be happening. That, or they would never get a pollinated plant out of this. Now, this can be frustrating, especially if you're starting off the event and you don't have any progression, because once again, like I said before, to get going, what you you need to do is actually have the pollinated plants in the first place. And the only way to get that, as I said before, is from the initial jump from the swarm event. So that is definitely a major bug. And then the honey compressor wait time. This isn't a bug rather than a complaint. So the honey machine takes 3 minutes, which feels tedious because it's not too long, but it is, I mean, I'm assuming that's smart. And you can only do a batch, right? Like one batch at a time. So you can only get 10 points per batch. This makes it a pain considering the shop refreshes every hour and you can only get 10 points every 3 minutes. So you can do this around 20 times, I believe that would be, if I'm correct on that math. Each cycle, which obviously isn't bad, but you have to constantly be grinding the game. Now, there have been people wanting like some implementation of a mechanic where you can either overstack it and get more, or just keep filling it up, or have more compressed honey at a time, or something like that, which would make sense if you could just keep feeding it and then compress it and then have all that. And then additionally, there's the queen bee shop restock. So the shop restocks every hour, but often with only like 1 or 2 seed packs, and sometimes missing the seed packs entirely. A lot of times there's not even the seed initially even in it. So the new seeds, obviously I'm already buying out the shop, but the nectaring seed, I've never gotten this because I haven't seen it. I haven't been in game when it's in shop. The high fruit seed, I've only had this in shop one time. Additionally, I've never seen the honey sprinkler. I've seen the bee egg once, and I've had the bee crate, I think 3 times maybe. And I've played this event a decent amount. Now, another thing, I think this makes grinding for seeds and just the new update and the rare stuff really hard, like the sunflower. Like, I don't want to pay to win and gamble like I do sometimes, but I feel like I probably would have to do that if I do want to get this before the event's gone. And then with the Bizzy Bee update, the popular, night meteor event was removed. So if you have a what's it called? A star caller. If you have one of these, right? These were used to drag in meteors from the meteor shower event, which gave the celestial mutation. Now, this was one of the best events ever because it was good mutation. Yeah, but this was removed. So if you do have any plant with the celestial mutation, so like this right here, this bamboo, this thing is huge, but this thing's gone. Like, this is never coming back. And this was one of the best things for grinding money, right? Because if you combined this with the sprinkler method or increasing your plant size, and then you combined that with shocked in this was the best way to make money. And then I think there's also a bit of a grind fatigue, it seems. So like, this isn't like an estimation, but it would seem like you have to grind hours to get enough honey just to be able to then go back and grind to buy this stuff in the shop, even then if you don't even have the crap. And then initially you have to wait, at least an hour, maybe if you're just starting off, to get an hour or 2 to get enough pollinated plants to even start getting progress in the update. And then when it comes to getting the bee egg, you're cooked, because I have a few amount of bees because I might have bought them. That's besides the point. But the main reason I'm getting at is the fact that if you're not, paying to winning or buying these eggs or lucking out with just the shop having the thing you need, you're kind of cooked for early progression. So it would take way too much time, I would say, to even get enough progress to start making good progress, if that makes sense. So I feel like there's a bit of a grind fatigue. So you lose the joy or want to play the game after a certain amount. Now, Jandel's responses, he has responded about stuff like this. So he is obviously Jandel, the main owner and leader of this. He has responded a trait, like a bit of a community appreciation over this. I really hope this does do well. So they have talked about reducing the honey machine time. So Jandel is working on cutting down the honey compressor wait time, possibly just by 1 minute, making it much less tedious to collect, because I feel like 3 minutes might have just been like the optimal time they thought of to make you have to stay in the game the longest, pretty much, because most likely that could have been the scenario. But then again, I might just be overthinking it, and it's just 3 minutes is what they chose, right? Anyways, though, with that in mind, additionally, another thing they have been looking at is faster shop restock. So the queen bee shop restocks literally every hour, and I think they are looking at maybe making it half as fast and increasing the odds that stuff is in stock. And then another thing, bug fixes, right? The swarm failing, visual aspect bugs around stuff like this. I like this, if you can't tell. It also makes the particle effect like duplicate itself and spread out. I find that funny. That needs to stay in the game permanently, and if you remove it, I will find you. And then the next thing is just listening to player feedback. So Jandel has obviously publicly thanked the community for their feedback and promised to make changes based on what the players want to see. That is the beautiful aspect of a starboard. So if you go over to the Grow Garden Discord server, if you're there, they have a starboard, and you can see all all the information about people, what they like to see, and all this really good stuff. So like this guy made a whole list of all these mutations you'd like to see. Natural weather events. So rainbow, very rare, prismatic. Oh, the mutation is called prismatic. So a 75x multiplier, growth speed, and then rainbow chance, and then a dust storm, solar flare, acid rain, admin weather, cyclone, glitch storm, UFO invasion, and then all this stuff. So if it's on the starboard and you like it, then most likely there's a better chance for the developers to see this. So do make sure you check out their Discord server, but you should also check out my Discord server. We have a stock notifier that'll notify you on the seeds and gear that's in stock, and the egg stock notifier, and a weather event notifier. Additionally, about the giveaway I was talking about earlier, once again, to enter into the giveaway, we're giving away, once again, one set of 10. So one winner is going to get 10 seed packs, and to enter, all you got to do is just subscribe and comment your username on this video. I'll check if you're subscribed or not, so do make sure you subscribe and then comment your username, obviously, and that'll enter you into the giveaway. And then obviously, I feel like there has been a leaked feature. So there has been hypothetical leaks about a trading system. This will be very nice to see them implement a working trading system, but there are things that are, you know, issues around this, the trading system. So there's a bit of a debate, right? So the trading system a lot of players want, but there's a catch revolving around black market deals and scams, especially with like rare Robux stuff. So like if there's some alt bot account hoping for this issue or this thing to be implemented, and they're holding on to a candy blossom seed, they could see to it that this thing is sold for a stupid amount considering it's just an in-game item. So here's what I would want to see with the next update: a safe, you know, very safe, secure trading system with like, this will help with the scam prevention. So like something especially around like even like a reputation system. So like I have this in my own Discord server. It's called a vouch system. So you can see how many vouches a person has and if you want to trade with them or not. This is another reason you should join my Discord server. Just saying. Something like that. More dynamic events, you know, that aren't buggy like crap. Better shop variety. I would also like to see a user-friendly inventory. So like easier ways to sort stuff. This is nice, but I feel like can get a bit annoying and tedious, and also a better way to handle cosmetics, honestly. And then like challenges, or like community challenges, like not really direct interaction with the game itself, but interaction with like the community in the Discord servers. Like I've seen some crazy builds, right, for cosmetics. There's people who can do crazy cosmetic builds, and having some sort of like competition for that would be wholesome and really cool to see. But in conclusion though, this is a really good update. I mean, they broke multiple records when it comes to player count, all this stuff, biggest game, all this. It's crazy. It's a huge accomplishment, but it does also want me to see just better, you know, like completion when it comes to the next updates, like better working mechanics, newer, fresher content, right? And just overall better cooperation with their own community. Anyways, though, if you like listening to my yap, thank you so much for watching. And